technology and how this works.
Yeah, it should be recording now.
Aha, there it
Yep.
is. Okay, and now back to our wonderful PowerPoint presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And again, if you have just joined us, make sure that you scan the QR code and sign in, or go to that bit.ly link and sign in again. And it is 6:05, so are we ready to go, Greg?
I'm ready to go.
Woot woot. Okay.
Wait, you were talking about
Explore
the
the
trip,
world.
right? You were talking
Say
about
again?
the trip, right? You were talking about going on the trip, right?
Well, that too. Are we
Yeah, I'm
ready to
ready to
go on
go.
the
Let's go.
PowerPoint?
Let's go.
Woot! Okay, so we're looking at sustainable living in Germany and Switzerland. This is going to be a fantastic trip. So what do we have for y'all today?
Okay, so this presentation is designed to give you a good feel for what the trip is going to be like and what you can expect. Okay, so today we're going to go over several things. Safety and our EF partnership is a really big thing. You know, one of the things as a parent that I would want to know for sure if my student is going to go on a trip like this is that they're going to be safe at all times. And luckily, we have a very experienced tour company. EF has been doing this for a very long time. They've smoothed out all the bugs, and they know what to do should a situation arise. So you don't have to worry about the safety of your kids on these particular tours. Okay. Travel plans and tour itinerary, you know, all that's going to be mapped out. There will be no point at any during the trip that we won't know where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to get there. And so we're going to go over those points. All right. One of the big things is, what do students get out of this? And that's you know, if we're going to go on this trip and go through the expense, not only of the money, but the time and effort to get there and have these experiences, we want to know that we're going to gain something.
And we're also going to talk about what is included in the trip and then the money and what is not. We're going to talk about the price and dates and where to mark in your calendar. So again, remember to sign in. You could have clicked that, scanned that QR code and signed in, or you could have clicked and put in this bit.ly. Now this is where we're going to submit questions. We're going to try to keep this meeting as precise and efficient as possible. So all questions are going to go to this link, and then we're going to get a team of EF tours and us together tomorrow, and we're going to answer them all and send them out to y'all. So again, questions are going to be submitted here in this bit.ly link. And bonjour, bonjour. Oh, wait. Wrong country. Willkommen, or welcome. I am Laura McDonald. I've been teaching for about 12 years, 9 at Etowah. Right now I'm teaching honors biology and AP environmental science, but I've run the gambit of most of the biological science. So I've taught a lot of different things. Now, my tour experience actually started when I was in high school, and I actually went on an EF tour. Totally not going to date myself, but it was a while ago. And but I was a sophomore in high school, and we went to Europe, and so I got to see Paris, England, and Italy, and it was amazing. And it was such an experience to get out of the United States and see different countries, different cultures, try different foods, experience having to exchange money. And it was so awesome that I'm excited to get to come and do the teacher side of it now. So I've experienced it as a student, and now I get to experience it as the teacher side of it. And so there's incredible growth for your students. I had incredible growth as I got to see the world.
And my name is Greg Shoemaker. I've been teaching for quite a while. The last 11 years have been at River Ridge High School. I've taught biology, physics, honors biology, environmental science, AP environmental science. Lately, it's been primarily environmental science and AP environmental science. So when the chance came to do a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math tour that focused on sustainability, through Germany and Switzerland, which are two of the countries that are most forward-thinking when it comes to sustainability and applying STEM to those problems. It's a dream come true. Okay. My first major travel experience was living in Japan for 2 years. When my wife and I got our teaching credentials, our first thing was, let's go overseas and teach somewhere. And that was our first opportunity. And it opened my eyes to myself and my view of the world at large. And so since Japan, I've traveled to Paris and London. Oddly enough, that was to see Jimmy Buffett concerts, but that was a very small part of the time. The rest of the time we were enjoying the culture and the food of London and Paris and seeing sites that I'd only read about or seen in books or in movies. And so I cannot agree with Laura enough that international travel is a major growth experience. I grew more in those 2 years in Japan as a 30-year-old than I had in the previous 7 years living in California. And so I cannot wait to share that kind of experience with some students.
And we have had some students. So this is a prior trip from Etowah that they took for photography. And this is them actually in Lucerne, where we'll be heading. And so you can see the picturesque landscape and the livestock. And then they actually got to tour the Swiss Alps as well as we did. And so these are student pictures that they were able to take.
Okay, so one of the questions that's sometimes asked is, why are we planning for this now? And one of the reasons that's kind of special to right now is, we've all been kind of locked up or pseudo locked up in our homes and working from home, doing school from home. We have been face-to-face in Cherokee County, but there's been a lot of in and out. And by next year at this time, we're looking forward to being over that and being able to travel internationally and do something unique and fun that we have not had the opportunity to do, this past year. So planning ahead, this gives us a chance to kind of reconnect with the world that seems so distant and remote.
And the other thing is that we're planning ahead because it spreads out payments. It is a longer time for us to pay, so that means it's going to be smaller amounts. And it also allows us to take the ability to use the EF Tours risk-free enrollment period, which means if you sign up by a certain date, which we'll get to, you will have the opportunity to have peace of mind that if over the summer something happens and you need to cancel, you can cancel all the way up until July 31st and get a 100% back guarantee. So that is one reason why we're starting to plan early.
Okay, so and one of the really wonderful things about this opportunity is we're going with a professional tour group. EF Tours has been doing educational tours for a very long time, over 55 years of experience of taking students and teachers to destinations all over the world and even inside the United States. They've got a wide-ranging staff that is available 24/7, 365 in countries all over the world, over 50 countries, including an office in Lucerne, Switzerland. And so, we're dealing with a world leader in international education, which is accredited just like our school. So we have the confidence that what the students will be experiencing, corresponds to, standards of teaching that we would expect in our schools themselves.
Now, group travel. Now, if we have a smaller group, we can actually be teamed up with another group. Now, this might be another group in our state. This might be another group somewhere else in the United States. But it's really cool because these smaller groups being able to team up makes it affordable. And we'll learn more about this closer to our departure date to find out if we get our own or if we'll be teamed up with another group. Now, this other group will also be traveling and doing the exact same things with us for the entire trip. So we'll get to know them.
And that's a really important piece. One of the most enjoyable parts of international travel in my experience has been meeting people from different places in the world and learning from them, getting their cultural perspective, sharing my cultural perspective with them. And I've still got friendships from my time traveling in Japan and living in Japan that have endured ever since then for the last 25 years. Okay, so safety on the tour is actually, you know, one of our primary focuses. You know, as someone who's been working in education for a long time and used to do environmental education, outdoor education, and also led tours in different summer camps. You know, having that feeling of safety is really, really important. And so we get a dedicated personal tour director. So their job, very simply, is to stay with us all the time and help our trip go as smoothly as possible. EF also has a safety and incident response team. You know, their job is to be on call, available to us if we should need any help. And we're not planning on using them, but it is a great relief to know that that kind of support is sitting right behind you the whole time. They've got enhanced safety precautions and procedures. So, you know, Ms. McDonald and I, we don't have to worry if there's an emergency. What do we need to do? We know exactly who to talk to and to get what we need to, you know, get through that piece and continue on our tour.
And we have a great ratio too with chaperones. It'll be 1 chaperone per 6 students. So that's a great adult to student ratio to make sure that we keep the students where they're supposed to be. They also, EF is very supportive of our Cherokee County safety policies. So whatever we have set down here, doesn't matter what country we're in, we are going to follow our Cherokee County policies here. And EF really embraces that and makes sure that they follow along with us.
Okay, so one of the things that's really nice is the flexibility of the program. Okay, it's not unusual once we plan our itinerary for something to come up that prevents us from visiting a particular site. So EF always has a backup plan. And so that peace of mind program is built into every single tour. So if we have to change destinations or dates of tours in uncertain times, and certainly COVID is one of those uncertain times, they've got a plan in place to help us transition. Okay. In addition, they've got global travel protection. And so this is available to all of our travelers, and it's included in the cost of the trip. And so you don't have to worry about whether there's an issue with your travel. Okay, both pre-departure and post-departure benefits are included in that travel protection.
They also provide a risk-free enrollment period. I'd mentioned this before. If you enroll before April 2nd, and then for any reason need to cancel before August 1st, you will receive a full 100% refund. So that really, really allows you to take a breath of fresh air in case anything does happen. You have that risk-free enrollment.
Okay, so mark your calendars. You know, there's a little bit of flexibility in the earliest departure and latest return. Somewhere in that space, we're going to have our 10-day tour. And that is, of course, because, you know, flight plans change, you know, and we have to deal with situations that come up. And so the earliest departure date we would have would be Thursday, March 31st, 2022, just before spring break. And we'd be returning no later than Monday, April 12th, 2022. So as we get closer to that date, EF will confirm the exact departure and return dates. And so, you know, within a few weeks out, and definitely a couple months, we'll know exactly what our departure and return dates are going to be.
So our itinerary, this is the exciting moment. Where are we going to go? So we're going to fly into Berlin. We're going to stay in Berlin a few days, learning about different aspects of the of the architecture and sustainable living. And then we're going to take a train. Yes, I said a train. We're going to take a train down to Freiburg, and we're going to stay there for a day or so and experience the small community around there. And then we're going to hop over to Lucerne in Switzerland and get to see the Black Forest and get to see the Swiss Alps. And a nuclear bunker. And it's going to be amazing.
And so, like Laura said, we first start in Berlin. And one of the most amazing things, and you can see this in some of these pictures for the different cities of going to Europe, is the architecture. And I don't know a lot about architecture, but I know I like it when I see it. And so one of my most enjoyable memories of being in London and in Paris and in Japan as well was the uniqueness of the architecture. And so from Berlin, we go to Freiburg. And in all European cities, this is a really nice picture because it shows, the street life, okay, and the way the streets are organized and how cafes spill out onto the sidewalks, which is really wonderful. In the Black Forest, which is a very famous part of Europe, you can see how picturesque that is. And finally, we get to Lucerne, which is, slam dunk right there in the Alps.
Okay, so what does a day on tour actually look like? So this is about day 9, looking at urban and rural sustainability. And so we'll wake up in the morning and we'll get breakfast, and then we're going to go to the Biosphere Interbuch, which is a tour of the UNESCO Biosphere in Interbuch, and we'll have an environmental scientist giving us this tour. And then afternoon, we'll get lunch, and then afternoon, we're going to go to the Sonberg Tunnel and explore the massive nuclear bunker. Now, when we're underneath there, we're also going to get a chance to actually design our own underground city. So if we had to design a bunker that people would have to live in, what would it look like? And then we're going to spend the evening in Lucerne. We're going to embrace our inner Swiss, and we are going to enjoy the nightlife and the chocolate. Oh, the chocolate. And you'll want to make sure that they bring some home to you.
Don't forget to give them a little extra cash for that, because depending on how much you want, of course. Okay. So some of the highlights in the different cities that we would experience are the East Side Gallery. And since one of the focuses of the trip is how is science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM, as we call it, being applied to create sustainable, practices and businesses. And so we're going to visit innovative local companies. When we get to Lucerne, one of the really fantastic things is we get in a cable car, we go right up to the top of the Alps and take an extended tour through a nuclear bunker, as Laura told us about earlier. One of the things they've done in Berlin is with this whole STEM and sustainable living concept is rather than tearing large areas down, is figuring out a way to renovate them and repurpose them. And I've seen some of that here in the United States by taking old factories like old mills and turning them into loft apartments, for example. And so we're going to be exploring some of those ways that they're trying to preserve their cultural heritage, but at the same time, give those sites a new purpose. And that includes working with an urban planner in Berlin. And so urban planning is an extremely important piece of sustainability. And finally, really fun, we get to learn how to cook Flammkuchen, which is actually started out as a way for bakers to test their ovens. They would roll a piece of dough out and just kind of toss it in there and see how well it cooked. And now it's become basically, for lack of a better phrase, it's German pizza.
I really like the actual translation of it, of a flame cake.
Flame cake.
Flame cake. So we'll get to learn how to make flame cakes. So coming home changed. Your students will expand their knowledge. They'll get to travel and see other cultures, try new and different cultures, different cooking, see how other people outside of the United States live, see the world around them, and they'll learn more about themselves too. Learn about how excited they are and how curious they are about others outside.
And one of the most, for me personally, traveling overseas, living overseas, was the amount of personal growth I experienced. And so that is almost immeasurable. I came back from those experiences more confident in myself and my goals in life. And in young people in particular, it helps them establish their independence, their confidence, and their ability to navigate the world at large, not just their little piece here in Cherokee County. And so in that exposure to new people, new cultures, you carry it with you. It's not like, going to a baseball game over, move on. It's something that changes you, and it normally changes you for the better.
Now, there are some personal learning experiences that can go along with this trip. You can earn high school credit. So you'll come back and you'll do a personal project that you will present to EF, and they will present to the accreditation board. And you can earn actually college credit by using high school credit by using your experience. You can also earn college credit as well. Now, this is a bit more, but you can earn earn 3 college credits as well for international travel. Also, college applications. This is a great experience to use when you're writing your college application. And we have all sorts of ways to help and tips to help your student use these experiences in their college applications.
And so, we've been talking a lot about how you could expect this to impact your student. But I think it's also good for us to hear from the parental perspective. So this video clip is going to share some parents' perspectives with you about these kind of trips.
Brian, can you see me?
I can't see you, no.
It says, okay, there I go.
Oh, there you are.
I don't know what I did, but I did something. I think that the EF tours helps kids be willing to try new things and do new things and be more accepting and willing to explore new cultures and new people, because I can see her blooming. I can see her little bud and her bloom getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
As parents, it's like you're writing checks for all these things that you do, soccer cleats, show choir, whatever it is that you're doing. This, to me, when I look back now that my kids are in college, is the best thing we did for our kids.
The kids are really very much experiencing things that we as a family could not create on our own in some cases, because we just don't have that kind of access.
It's certainly worth it. And I mean, the price is real. That's what it costs to get to Europe, get to South Africa, get around the world, to eat and have bus transportation and to do things. And so, of course, it's going to cost.
But then you think about it, we're paying this over the course of many, many months. Yeah, we can handle this.
The payment plans were awesome because it made it affordable. It made it reasonable.
Paying on the trip at the beginning really was almost like I didn't even see it and feel it, and I appreciated that.
It was just so easy to decide the payment options, to have the capability of having friends and family, help fund the trip.
Empowers us to be able to give our child an experience that we know that will help them become a more rounded person, a more complete person.
I wanted her to practice those skills that I hope that I taught her in independence and being self-sufficient and making decisions for herself. It's feet on the ground learning the whole time you're there. You're learning about food, culture. You're learning simple things like how to navigate an airport, how to deal with people who are grumpy, how to take care of yourself, find yourself a snack.
Set their own alarm, wake up, get dressed, pack their bags, and be ready to be out by a certain time.
money exchanges and how to deal with money and how to flush the toilet in Venice, or what to expect before you get off the bus. And those are the things that middle school, high school kids need to know right away.
The ability to go and experience things is great growth. It's an investment for life.
Okay, so what's included?
First of all, the two big ones are round trip airfare to and fro, of course, and safe, quality hotel rooms. You're not dumped into a budget, low budget hotel or in a youth hostel or something like that. These are good quality hotel rooms that are clean, safe, with nothing to worry about.
And we have a full-time professional tour director with us. Now that means that they're going to be staying in the hotel with us so that if anything happens, they are right there. And this also includes all of our on-tour transportation. I mentioned earlier, we get to ride a train in Germany. That is going to be awesome.
The full educational itinerary is included. So all the stops we're going to make with meeting up with professional scientists or professional urban planners, all of that is included in the price. Okay, so there's no extra cost for the educational component. And that includes, the guided tours and activities that we're going to do.
Now, breakfast and dinner are included, and they have delicious breakfasts. I promise you over there. And then we also have 24-hour on-tour assistance. So whenever we need it, whenever we have questions, we can go to them.
And going along with that assistance is a traveler support team. So if there's any hiccups along the way, EF has people waiting in the wings that are just a phone call away through our tour director that can help us solve any travel issues. So if the train gets canceled or there's a delay in our flight, that traveler support team is available for them. And one of the nice things too is we have a tour donation page. And we're going to go into that in a little more detail down the road, but it basically means that anybody in your family or friends that want to support your kid in this trip can go to that page and they can submit some money to help them on the trip.
We also have that project-based learning program that allows you to get credits for either high school or college. And then we have the Uncommon App College Essay Kit that will, again, help your student use what they've learned from their trip and put it into a college essay.
They also include a small travel backpack. It's really just designed to carry around during the day so that you can carry some water, you can carry some snacks, you can pack your lunch if you need to. And so just to carry all those little sundries. So you don't necessarily have to go out and buy a specialized, European carry-all or whatever you want to call it to help you along to keep your passport and all that stuff in. That is included. And they have a global travel protection plan. So if anything happens to our travel plans, that kicks in and helps cover any or defray any of those costs that you may think you're going to lose when things change.
Funnily enough, I think I still have my travel backpack from when I was on an EF tour my sophomore year of high school. So they're really, really durable. Now, things that you'll cover, it's not included, it's going to be, of course, your passport and the baggage fees, extra spending money, which, of course, that chocolate, you want them to bring you home some chocolate. Lunches.
Don't forget about the Flammkuchen.
Oh, the Flammkuchen, yes. And then the lunches and snacks, and then tips. And, of course, if you want to do the college credit, there is some fees with that as well.
Okay, so how can we make that happen? Now, I'm a parent. I have twins that are seniors this year, and oh, by the way, they're really miffed that this is being offered this year and not, wasn't offered before. And one of the beauties is that EF makes it very easy to have some flexible payment options. So the first one is you can pay every other week. A lot of people are paid on every other week schedule. So that would be about $163 every 2 weeks. The next option is to pay monthly. I personally, I'm paid monthly. So that monthly payment plan would be ideal for me. The other way you can do it is just pay in full. Okay, so the full cost of the trip, if you want to just write a check or get the money into the account in any way that's offered, it's $3,985, which includes your $95 deposit. And the final thing is manual payment options, where you just take charge of the payments yourself. You make them on a regular basis until we go on the trip. It's really important to note that when we talked about the $200 discount, I'm sorry, not the $200 discount, but we talked about the opportunity to get all of your money back up to August 1st. That option is only available if you sign up for the automatic payment options. The manual payment option kicks that out. And finally, if you want to go with your kids, you can come too. And so the full cost for a parent to join the trip is $4,285.
Now there is a $200 discount, so you get some savings if you sign up by Monday, March 29th. And so that brings those payments down a little bit. And so it's really nice to have that small discount there. Now, making it happen, we have the Global Citizen Scholarship. So your student can put in for the scholarship and get merit-based scholarships to help fund the money. Another thing is customizable donation page. Now this again is really cool. This page you can send the link out to anyone at any time. I made an A on my test. Here, you should give me some money. Hey, I got a 5 on my AP exam. You should give me some money. My birthday is coming up. You should give me some money. And Christmas is coming up. You should give me some money. So any reason you can send it out to family and friends and anyone, and they can donate for your trip. Again, don't forget about this early discount, receiving $200 discount if you enroll before Monday.
Okay, so if this is for you, then it's time to enroll. Okay, so we have 15 guaranteed spots available. And the best way to secure that spot is as soon as you can, especially before that Monday deadline, get your $95 deposit in.
Now, we had about 95 families with us during this meeting here. So again, you want to try to get this in as soon as possible. And remember, the enrollment deadline is going to be for the risk-free enrollment is April 2nd. So even if you miss this $200 discount, you still have till April 2nd for that risk-free peace of mind enrollment.
And so enrollment is open as of this minute. Okay. One of the best ways to do it is to go to that web address right there, www.eftours.com/2452086VX, which also happens to be our enrollment number. And I believe that's sitting in our chat somewhere. Let's see.
It will be momentarily.
It's going to be there momentarily. It's actually just a little bit. And so it's going to be in there, so you can just copy and paste that into your browser window and secure your enrollment that way. You can also, and again, go to that sign-in form, okay? And that sign-in form is really important because I know many of you probably have many, many questions, or at least a few that we've been unable to answer because we're trying to make this as brief and not take up as much time of our evening as possible. But we want to make sure that we can answer all of your questions. So there's a team of people waiting to do just that. So if you can scan that QR code or go to the sign-in form again, and there's a link there that you can get to drop your questions into, okay?
In the chat, again, yes, the link is up, and you can go ahead and go to the chat and enroll.
Okay, and Laura, we've had a request to show that slide with the payments for the $200 discount. Maybe we can go back to that and just kind of hold that there. so people can see. And again, that you can see that the payments that are valid for the risk-free enrollment period are those automatic payments of $154, $308, and $37.85. Okay. All right.
We are excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I really hope we can make this fly, because this is I've been in education for a while, and this is the first trip I really, when I've seen these come by my desk, this is the first one that I really like because of the STEM and the sustainable living aspect of it. I think that's just that jazzes me more than anything, practically.
Okay, so the link again is going to be in the chat, and we're going to leave this up for about 5 minutes or so. Again, if you have any questions, you can add it to that bit.ly that you signed in at. And I'm going to put on some, again, Swiss music. And okay, so we did have some specific questions. Those will go into the bit.ly questions, and we will get you specifics tomorrow when we can get some more information from EF Tours.
Yeah, they're the real professionals on this. So, Miss McDonald and I would not want to steer you in the wrong direction there. They've dealt with, requests about food and things like that so many times. They have the best answers. So do go to that web link that has the bit.ly link in it and drop your questions in there. And like we said, tomorrow, no later than the next day, you'll get a response out of that. Oh, the thunder is coming. At least we're not all heading to the bunker downstairs.
And music. Maybe.
For those of you that are still here, Laura and I cannot say enough. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been wonderful to share this with you, and I hope that we can get all your questions answered tomorrow in case, so that you can make that decision to jump on board with us.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming.
You said come.
Thank you for coming.
So, Ms. McDonald, so are there any financial assistance available in this as well, or no?
So we have the, if you remember, there are some scholarship opportunities that you can apply for to help with the money. There's the donation page so that you can get family and friends to also help donate.
And that donation page is kind of like a personal GoFundMe. So that's kind of a neat option. And the scholarships are both need-based and merit-based. But you do have to go through an application process for that. And that's a very good question to put into the bit.ly link, because the EF Tour people would have the most information to share with you about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am not sure about chaperones.
Yeah, that's a good question to put in into that link with the bit.ly link or the QR code. We may want to pull that back up. I wonder if we could. It'd be nice if we could split screen it, I hear that music and I feel like I should be drinking an espresso with, a bit of Swiss chocolate on a sidewalk cafe somewhere.
Just relaxing, not in a thunderstorm. Yeah.
Not thinking I may have to, repair to the basement. You know, when you showed that picture of the cow in Switzerland,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure in the background I couldn't really tell. It looked like it was a ski lift.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, there was some gray posts, and it looked like I almost could imagine a cable between them, and they were very regularly spaced. I was like, that's how they keep the grass down on the slopes during the summer.
Yep.
That's gotta be that's an accordion, isn't it? Sounds like accordion
so.
music to me.
Accordion's the lost art.
Yeah. It always reminds me of a Monty Python skit I saw once. Shut that bloody bazooki off. All right, I think we lost everybody.
Okay. So I will go ahead and.
Oh, there we go.
Hmm?
More questions showing up all of a sudden.
Aha. Okay.
So Allison, the best thing to do is to do that QR code or the bit.ly link and drop your question in there. But I think Allison is probably one of your students. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And of course, you could always ask me, and I will go through and make sure and ask EF.
Yep.
As for the total plus an adult, no, they are two separate. So it would be the child, and then the adult would be the 4,285. Let's see if I can stop recording. We'll chill for a little while as well on here to answer any other questions, but I'll go ahead and do the stopping of the recording.
Stop that!